live. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm trying to make that my new intro. If you like it, let me know. I say my outro. I'm not changing it. I don't care if you like it or not. Um, so we're starting off raw today, and pretty much that was a little stupid joke that came off the top of the head because our topic of today is addiction. Oh shit! Addiction. Hold on, let me give it a few more seconds. People. A few more seconds. Make sure I'm good. You good over there, Suave?
Yeah, I'm chilling.
I'll tell you one thing, bro. I'm addicted to these hoodies. God damn addiction. Now, this is just me making light of a more serious matter, obviously. Addiction can be found in many different forms. I say let's just be honest here. Let's just go through actually hold on. I need to exit real quick. I gotta make sure I'm on the right part for Reddit. Sorry, everybody over here. I just want to make sure I'm in the right section. Okay. So, like I said, addiction comes in many different forms. I say people are addicted to a lot of different things. I say people have healthy addictions and people have unhealthy addictions, obviously. But what makes something an addiction? Let's start with that first, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Actually, you know what? Let's start with the definition of addiction. Let me look that up just specifically, so everybody is on the same basis here. Now, addiction says it's a dependency, dependence, craving, habit, weakness, compulsion, fixation, or enslavement. God damn. That just eats at you, doesn't it? All right, good evening. Addiction to fashion is something as devotion, dedication, obsession with, infatuation with, passion for, love of, fondness for, weakness for, penchant for, predilection, sorry, appetite for, mania for, thing about, yen for, appetency for, and indifference. Now, a TMS podcast. Now, if you don't know who that is, they do sports over there. If you want to go check out sports, Soavecito does gaming. If you want to go check out gaming, TMS podcast, they do sports. I say mainly football, I believe. Definitely, please go check them out. Twitch. His Twitch name is TMS Podcast Aaron, Aaron. So definitely go check them out. They're amazing guys. I say I check out their videos every once in a while. I'm not big on football, but they make it very entertaining. Now, so today we're talking about addiction for the new people that are just coming. Now, addiction can be bad or good, obviously. Like we said, it depends on the type of addiction. Now, the type of addiction we're going to talk about first is actually going to be the negative kind. God damn it. I'm a mess right now. So first we're going to talk about the negative kind of addiction. And the negative kind of addiction is, let's say, cigarettes, because the nicotine in cigarettes, alcohol. I'll say TV could be one, actually, believe it or not. I'll say alcohol is actually one of the biggest. And the reason it's one of the biggest is because it's legal, obviously.
I mean, think about it like this: with the pandemic and everything going on, like how, certain stores were supposed to stay open because they're essentials. Liquor stores were open.
Right. Yes.
So it's just crazy, like, during this difficult time, that the first thing people gravitate towards is liquor.
Yes. I say someone said addiction to like apps on your phone. That's a very good one. I say I have addiction. I have addiction to apps on my phone. I say I find a good game. It's a wrap.
Have an addiction on your apps. How about being addicted to your phone in general?
Yeah, I say.
Can you honestly think it's a part of you? Like, can you leave your house without your phone with you? Like, you feel like you're naked.
And it makes it and it's so weird when it comes down to like back in the day when you used to go out without a cell phone and shit like that, and it was fine, and you know you could just literally just do whatever you want whenever you want, no issue, no problems, and you didn't have a cell phone. But now it seems like shit is way worse, way worse when it comes down to everything at the end of the day,
Yeah.
because now we have the cell phone and everybody wants a cell phone. You have kids that are 2 years old that know how to use a smartphone. That just sounds wild to me at the end of the day. I say because when I was 2 years old, my nigga, I didn't give a fuck about a cell phone. I didn't even want a cell phone when I got a cell phone.
Bro, was he a cell phone? What, when you were 2 years old, were even cell phones a thing? Or
Yeah, I mean,
like
cell
I
phones
thought it
been
was
around.
still house phones at
No, I
that
mean,
point.
cell phones been around since the 80s, but they were high powered for business people and for like high end cars.
Mm.
I would say, but it didn't come mainstream until like like late 2000s, around like Nokia time and shit of that nature, when they started making them big ass phones for cheaper, or the small phones for cheap and shit like that, but they were damn near indestructible.
Mm.
Yes, everybody remember those. Another one, porn, sexual, as you can see in the chat. There's sexual content that people get addicted to. I would say
True.
there's people who have to fulfill themselves, to say it in a nice way, every day. And if you don't understand that, some people got to masturbate every motherfucking day or multiple times a day constantly, or they have to watch a certain amount of porn or whatever the fuck. It happens. Addiction comes in so many different ways. It's because addiction is something that feeds the what the fuck is it, the dopamine sensors in your brain that produce
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dopamine or whatever,
Hmm.
and that makes you feel good, and you want that feeling. I say that feeling of busting a nut, yo. Some people get addicted to that. I say that's the feeling you got addicted to. Some people that smoke weed, that's the feeling they got addicted to. I'm not saying weed is
It's something.
addictive.
It's something that you can't live without. You
Exactly.
know.
Not because something automatically has addictive purpose, because obviously cigarettes has nicotine. Nicotine specifically is addictive. But
Hmm.
what does porn have that's addictive?
Uh,
It just makes you horny. It makes you
yeah.
horny, and if you masturbate, you can get off.
It gets your hormones going.
But it's not specifically filling you with anything, because there's other people out there who will watch porn, or can watch porn periodically, and it's no problem. But there are people who can smoke cigarettes, or who have smoked cigarettes and then get addicted to them because they just can't stop it.
Hmm.
And there's other people who just can't, and there's obviously there's some people, but it just depends on you. That's the main point of my show here today,
Yeah.
is that addiction is different based on the person. And
Well,
some and
everybody's built differently, so like, like
exactly.
one person that gets addicted to cigarettes and all this stuff, one person might not even like have nothing to do with it. You know, there might be nothing. So
Exactly,
you,
exactly.
you
Sorry.
never know how certain things are going to affect you.
Exactly. I'm opening up the lines in about 2 minutes. I say I like to give time, people to come in, so we get to enjoy the conversation. We figure out what's happening, what's going on. I say you
Bro,
get
I'm
a feel
20K away from, I'm
for what's
20K,
going on.
20 followers away from 1K.
God damn, I think I have like 200.
Bro, the grind is real. The grind is
Hey,
real.
hey, I respect it, and hey, good shit. You addicted to that grind. That's how it goes. Hey,
I
see,
caught you guys on Reddit one
addiction.
night. How y'all been? We're
No,
doing good. It's the call-in show. Yes, yes. We're
I
gonna open the lines in a couple minutes.
actually literally in 60 seconds.
In 60 seconds.
If
How
you
you
can be
doing?
the first, you can be the first, but rules first, just to say for everybody. Number one, most of the time, if you're gonna be coming on the show talking about anything that's explicit, that obviously you have to be of age to watch or view on TV, you got to be the same here to talk about it. Just being honest with you. Apologies. Second, you have to. We ask you to be respectful. I say you have 10 minutes. I say it's your free time. You want to talk about whatever you want. Tonight is addiction. So tonight you have to talk about addiction. You got an idea, something about that. You want to join the conversation. Tonight is about addiction. Obviously, just be respectful. It's all positive energy over here. I said we don't judge, and I'm saying it's all love. So if you want to call in, definitely take that time. All right.
Yeah. You can hear the other guy because that's good. That's good. You want to hear my partner here, KingKadoTalks. He's live on Reddit and Twitch, and you can follow him on all platforms, Jay. So addiction is something I've got something. Oh, you do? Yeah, call in. Call in. You know.
Now,
Or if you don't feel like calling out in, you can always just type it in chat, and then we'll try to reach to you. But we will during the calls we want to be respectful, so we let the person finish what they have to say, and we join in that conversation, and we try to keep up with messages on Twitch or Reddit.
Definitely. I say it's always top priority. We try to keep engaging with our audience. Let's say, because obviously you are the people who make the content here. I say we talk. I say you engage with us. We go off of what you say. That's how we get these live shows going. All right. So appreciate each and every one of you. Say if anybody would like to call in, and here we go. First caller.
Call from
some guy working.
Hey, some guy working. You're on with KingKadoTalks and Soavecito. What's good, bro?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, I actually have a lot of the addiction stuff that I can kind of talk about right now.
Okay.
Hey, what you gotta say? It's your free time.
So, hit February right before, everything went to shit. I decided to, stop everything at once, cold turkey. The drinking, the porn, the smoking, video games, everything.
God damn.
Internet, apps on the phone, everything. Just get back down to my core. That shit was hard.
I was about to say, I was like, that's a lot of shit to cut off at once. God damn.
I mean, going cold, like, that's impressive. Did you go through any phases doing that, or like cutting everything off cold turkey, like that?
I mean, sure. At first it was weird, like the first, second day. I had that. The big one for me was like grabbing my phone, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna become a wife, and I grab the phone and then like open up Reddit, open up this, open up that, and then waste 10 minutes. So I was like, man, I got a fucking problem. So then I just stopped everything. Drinking wasn't much of a problem, but like I was one of those people that had like a kegerator in their house, and weed. Well, hashtag Oregon, it's illegal or whatever.
Right.
So it was just a lot. It was kind of hard, man. Honestly, I'm pretty like. It's kind of weird. Like I, the way that I felt it was like I made myself hit rock bottom. It is the weirdest feeling, because you're falling, but you're purposely doing it.
See, but let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
What did that do for you though after hitting rock bottom?
Oh my god, dude! Just everything opened up for me. Like it was like I figured out how to spend more time with the kids, make the wife happy again. I own a business, so like now, instead of waking up and staying on the phone for 45 minutes, I just go straight to work at 6 in the morning, and I work till like 8 p.m. at night, and I still make time for the wife and the 2 kids and the everything else in life. It's weird once you figure out all the time that you waste.
Yeah, definitely. Oh my God, I say that. Hey, that's a big part of it. Time. I say your
time management, definitely,
bro.
Man.
I say your time really gets eaten up by your addictions. I say people don't understand that at the end of the day.
Yeah, like it got to the point that I put because again, it was a problem, right? Like we all have the big one for me was the phone. So I literally put my phone on the hood of my car, and I just started driving, and I just let it get lost. I went 10 days without a cell phone.
Wow.
At all.
Shit.
Right? And then I finally got a phone again, and I got the original Razor V3.
Holy shit, you brought back some memories right there, bro.
Hey, okay.
Only texting is awful.
God damn.
Yeah, dude. No, like I went hard for it. And then, at where I work, customers of mine bring me cases of wine that they make by themselves. That they make their own wine at home. So they bring me cases of wine, and they're like, "Here, have a case."
I say no.
So,
that was gonna bring me into my next point was the availability of all the things that you can get addicted to.
Yeah,
I would say
I have
it's
a lot
insane.
available, and honestly, I just started giving shit away. Like other customers would walk in of mine, and I'll be like, "Here, have a bottle of wine." They're like, "What is it?" I'm like, "I don't know, but it's pretty great."
I was like, but let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you one thing. I gotta applaud you, bro. I would say
Bro.
that is good shit. I'm proud of you, my nigga. Like, to do something of that nature is hard. I've seen people try to quit cigarettes alone
Yeah.
and couldn't do it. Say, but you telling me you dropped your cell phone, which and the internet, one of the biggest addictions of all time, because it's pretty much the same addiction as fucking cocaine at that point. Alcohol.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
you get, bruh, like all that shit. That's a lot.
Especially to
give
do it
up.
all at once.
That's what I'm saying.
it
And,
was-
and then to keep that, and then the biggest part is to be able to keep that mentality and that strength.
Well, see, so for me, right, like, I think it would just be such a disappointment on myself that I couldn't do it for myself, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's the best thing for me, so why would I fall back into it? You know, like, there's times that it gets risky, man. You know, the wife would be cooking. She's like, hey, open up the wine. You know, she likes to cook with wine sometimes. So she was like, hey, open up the wine. I was like, fuck. And I open up the wine, and I'm like, half tempted just to take a sip and put it back down. But I don't. You know, I just stay strong.
Hey, that's
But,
good
I mean, that
self-control.
shows willpower, you know.
Hell yeah.
You
No, dude.
like you being in contact with it, and you know, you can say, you know, I don't need this. You know, I don't have to take this sip and try to put it down, or you know, I'm just gonna open it up and I'm gonna walk away. That takes so much willpower,
Yeah.
and like Kato says, I applaud you for that because it's not easy. You know, we are so
Absolutely.
used to doing our routines, our trends. Addictions become a trend at a certain point. It's our routine in our life. You know, we can't live without it. And then for you to be able to cut that negative part out of your life to better yourself and the ones around you. Again, like I said, I credit you, man, for real.
Hey, I completely agree with that.
Absolutely.
Same
Thank
right
you, man.
there, bro. Now,
Yeah.
I say how you said
I'm
you
26.
did this at the beginning.
Yeah, I did it February. So I
February.
think it's like beginning of February, yeah.
And saying you've been going strong ever since.
Yeah, not once.
How old are you?
No, 26.
God damn, nigga. I would say
Yeah.
because you're around that age. That's where motherfuckers is at the end of their partying phase though. But like they're still partying. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I never partied, man. Like, you know, like for me, it wasn't that I didn't party much. I didn't party much. And when I did, obviously I went pretty hard at it.
Hey,
I don't know, it was weird.
I mean I kind of agree with that because I would say high school was a time where motherfuckers were throwing parties constantly, and then even a little bit after high school, shit was a little wild. But me doing all of that before, it feels like I don't need to do it now to feel validated. You feel me?
Absolutely.
I would say
Yeah, no, you get it.
it gives you the free energy to be able to like say, nah, I'm good. I don't need to go out for drinks, bro. Like I don't drink at all, actually. I mean, I might take a shot if you know, like New Year's comes by or something like that, or like the one out of like 6 months my girlfriend's, hey, drink with me or something like that. But other than that, I don't fucking drink. I literally have an entire like shelf of alcohol, like a fuck ton of bottles and shit like that. I don't drink at all. I say, but it's there, and it's like literally right in my grasp. I can grab it any moment. I live with me, my girlfriend, and my dogs. I don't have anybody above me that can tell me no. But it's just the inner strength to be able to do that. I was saying not, but not everybody has that, and I think that's what we have to address in the world. If people think the same.
Yeah. Well, so the way that it started for me, right? Because I was telling one of my coworkers, and I'm like, well, I kind of want to stop everything. And he was all like, then just stop. And I'm all like, well, shit, I guess I can, huh? So I just stopped. It's the weirdest thing, right? Like, how much of that, like, how many people just have to hear, like, well, if you want to stop, then just fucking stop, right? Like,
Right.
there's nothing holding you back to keep doing it.
Hey, I completely agree. I say that it's like that for a lot of people, where people can just stop, and then obviously some people just the mentality is not there, or it's just too many things in their life that pushes them to that.
Yeah. It just has to click, right? Like, your brain just has to click and just kind of, like, realize, like,
Exactly.
you know, the willpower is actually there. You just kind of have to get to it.
Exactly, like finding things for people to do instead. I say there are other things you can get addicted to that are healthy for you.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I
Exercising.
tried getting addicted to exercising, but that kind of sort of flopped.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you get a little too addicted to exercising, you fucking kill yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
True,
well,
true.
yeah, but I can't even, yeah.
So let me say this: addiction in moderation. Let me say that if you can have an addiction but know how to moderate it, more or less. Obviously, if it's not destroying your body and so on, and destroying the people around you, then I more or less I think that's okay.
Well, absolutely. So I also, again, February-ish, I took my gaming computer apart, right? And I haven't used it until like a week ago.
Oh shit.
So now I'm like, kind of like touching water on the internet, just kind of like going through and, getting on Reddit again after 8 months. And again, I work in the IT department, making it a little harder to, use the internet for for the tool that it is,
Right.
not for the gateway that it can be.
True. Hey.
Yeah.
I definitely respect that. Sorry, I say 10 minutes is here. I say I don't. It's only because if I push you, then everybody else is going to get pushed.
Oh, no, absolutely. I just want to say to everyone out there, you can definitely do it. It's just a matter of, trusting in yourself and just kind of beating the addiction without putting yourself in the way.
Exactly. I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, thank you again for calling in, bro. Appreciate that very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, man.
I
really.
say, if obviously time goes by, I say usually if people call in and you want to call in again, give it at least 5 to 10 minutes. I would say at least that way other people can call in if they want, and if they miss their chance, then they miss their chance. Sorry.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
Okay, man.
So thank you again for calling in, bro. Appreciate you.
Yep. And have a good night, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, beautiful. Hey, back to back calls. All right, here we go.
From
Evan Sashry.
Hey, Evan, you're on with KingKadoTalks and Soavecito. What's up?
What's up?
I said, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm good. I just was listening to what you were saying before with that other guy about he was talking about tech addiction, and I'm 20, and I definitely really struggle to use my phone, like to not be on my phone. Like I'm on my phone like 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm living at home with my parents. Like I'm going to university, but it's online.
Okay.
And so like I have all this free time. I'm just on my phone like constantly.
I understand. I say, is there any other things that you're into or like like to do, hobbies, so on and so forth?
Yeah. I'll get to that. But I have some other addiction issues actually as well. I've actually had like chronic pain since I was 17 years old, so it's about 3 years now. And because of that, I got like really into smoking weed. I think honestly, smoking weed can be a super harmful addiction. People kind of like to play it down and like act like it's like chill. It doesn't affect your life.
I agree
that
with that.
much. And, like,
I agree with that.
And like, yeah. I mean, it is chill. It's almost like too chill. Like it's not like if you're gonna get really drunk, you kind of have to pay like this tax. You have a hangover the next day.
Yeah.
So with weed, you're tired, you're sleepy, you're kind of out of it, but it's kind of nice, and you can kind of just roll with that. So I struggled with that for about 2.5 years. It got to the point where I was like spending so much money on it. Like I was spending all my money on it. And I wasn't really getting anything out of it because like with addiction, you kind of just need more and more because you're just like pressing a button for dopamine and you're putting those feelings, you're just pushing feelings away, and like you're never going to like deal with your issues if you keep pushing them away with a substance like that.
Hey, I completely agree with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so eventually, I actually had this chest surgery at the beginning of September. This really gnarly chest surgery where they, had to deflate my lungs and put a metal bar inside my chest to correct my bone structure.
Wow.
Fuck.
So I had to quit smoking for that. Like and what made me like realize like how addicted I was is I was like kind of like bargaining with myself like how close I could cut it with stopping smoking weed before the surgery. And then I realized, like, and my mom was pissed at me because, like, I've fought my mom, like, every step of the way on this smoking weed thing because I have chronic pain, you know. So for me, I was, like, you know, kind of lying to myself like it's a medicine, you know.
Right.
You know, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's I mean, I'm sure for some people it can be helpful in some capacity.
Definitely.
But when you start to depend on it, like, emotionally, like I definitely was, just, like, putting those feelings underwater, I realized, like, shit, like, I'm gambling with my health, with the potential outcome of this surgery, because, you know, I'm so into smoking this plant. So that realization, I finally actually managed to put it down, like, about 3 months ago now. I've been clean.
3 months.
And one thing that I've, like, I actually successfully did it. I'm pretty proud of myself. The surgery went well. I'm sorry, I'm like, this isn't really, I'm kind of like just talking.
Hey, bro.
No.
Hold on.
Time, man.
Hold on. Let me just reiterate this for everybody. When you call, you have 10 minutes. If you want to speak that entire 10 minutes, you can do that. I would say this is an open platform so everybody can feel comfortable with themselves. If there's things that you want to say, it's here. There's no judgment, bro. I would say you want to talk the entire time, you can talk the entire time. You want us to shut up? Hey, this is your time. It is call in chat today. You were the
I
chat.
appreciate that. Yeah. I just tuned in. I saw addiction, and, like, I haven't, like, you know, really spoke at length.
You were the title,
about this
bro.
in my life recently, so.
Yeah.
Today's chat is today's video is all about y'all. Today's stream is all about y'all.
Okay, cool. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem, baby. Go ahead.
So, and then one thing that I have found, this is, like, probably one of the most positive things this year, is I've actually gotten into, like, taking walks and eventually running. I actually ran my first full 5K yesterday.
Oh shit!
And I was like,
Nice.
Yeah,
I can't do that shit.
And, like,
I ain't gonna lie, I can't do that.
About just, like, going out every day and, like, taking a walk and, like, having that time where, like, I feel like I'm kind of an anxious person, or I'm always thinking about, like, am I doing enough? Am I making enough progress in life? You know, whatever that may mean. Obviously, there's, like, I don't know. I just kind of, like, an anxious person, I guess.
Hey, I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Yeah, but by, like, putting one way, like, that it made a difference for me is, like, I changed my mindset about it. Like, for me, I struggle to, like, exercise as, like, a means to an end, you know, like, if you're just doing something to get this, like, you know, outcome, whether it be, like, monetary or status or whatever, it's really hard to actually enjoy the activity itself.
Right.
And I feel like in the past, like, I like had, like, worked out because I wanted to, you know, like, have big muscles and look good to chicks.
Hey, that's a lot of people. Trust me. Hey, I feel you. I can't lie. I'm skinny as fuck, bro. I'm like 130, bro. Like, hey, I feel that.
And, like, that extrinsic motivation, you know, like, it works for a while, but eventually it just, like, becomes, like, this soulless activity where you don't really enjoy it because you're only doing it for something that comes after. And so what I did with, like, the walking and the running is I was like, okay, I'm just going to set this time. Like, I'm just going to be present, and I'm just going to enjoy where I am, and I'm not going to think about, like, where I'm going or where I have to be. And, like, that for me, like, really clicked. And I was just wanted to share that because, like, that, like, enjoyment of, like, just doing the activity for the activity. And eventually, and I just started out, like, you know, I set this goal with my peer mentors through school, like, hey, I'm just going to walk, like, 30 minutes every day and, like, just set that time aside as, like, me time. And eventually, like, I started actually, like, enjoying it, and then I started doing it more, and then I started, like, hey, like, I'm gonna try running, and then I enjoyed the running too. Like, in the past, like, you know, everyone hates running. Like, running sucks. Like the physical version is difficult. But when you have the mindset of, like, especially, like, with addiction, you know, because you're trying to like get these good feelings out of your brain. And so, you know, some of us are, like, you know, depressed, and we're devoid of those feelings. So we use, you know, tech, substances, or whatever to fill that emotional void. And so I started getting, like, these, you know, endorphins, I think they're called.
Yeah.
Just from this activity, and that combined with, like, the mindset thing, it's become just a really, really healthy activity for me lately. So I just want to share that.
Hey, yo, that's what's up, though. I like that. I respect that shit hard. I say, and you're 20, right?
Yeah.
Yo, son, that's a difficult ass motherfucking time, especially getting addicted to shit at 20. Because you got to think, that's like college. Yeah. That's like fucking college time. And you already know how college kids be, bruh. College kids be like, wild as fuck.
It was so easy in college, too. Like, coming home was actually, like, good for me. Because, like, in the college environment, like, I'm a business student. I got a Cal Poly San Luis Obispo in California.
Uh-huh.
It's a state school, and, like, you know, it's, like, weed's legal in California. Like, people are just on drugs, and they're drinking constantly. And it's so easy to just, like, you know, accept that as normal. And like, hey, it's a social thing. Hey, it's you know, it's whatever. And
it's
then
availability. Time, like, availability, like I said last. It's availability. It's all around you, baby.
Yeah. So that definitely, like, and you know, dude, I was, like, you know, drunk and high constantly. Like, I mean, I still have, like, decent grades and whatnot. Like, I'm a pretty smart guy, but it really kind of sucks the soul out of the experience when you're just looking forward to this, like, physical sensation, and it kind of, like, robs you of the emotional connection with other people because you're, like, connected to the substance.
Yeah, definitely. I say this shit gets insane, bro. I say you lose yourself. You lose yourself for a very long time, and then finding yourself and keeping yourself on that path to find yourself is the hardest part, and you're doing that shit.
You know what I noticed when, like, because I had my own addictions too, man. I noticed when I'm off of whatever I'm addicted to, I see what I missed out on, like, and I'm like, holy shit! And the realization is like, I missed out on so much because I paid too much time on my phone, or too much time gaming, or too much time weed, or any of that shit, bro. Like, it's just like, it makes me want, like, oh my god, like, this is what I'm missing out on, and I don't want to miss this anymore. So I definitely, for me, I prioritize what is important for me, and I was like, I don't need this stuff to get me through the day. I can just focus on my values and just keep working on myself. So I commend you, man, for real, man. That's a beautiful thing that you realize, and you're working on yourself, and you're like pushing for whatever you believe in, man.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, thanks.
I completely agree with exactly what he said. Hey.
Yeah, I'm still definitely struggling with the phone, though. That's the last thing that I need to kick is the tech, dude. I'll just scroll on Reddit for, like, hours and hours, and, like, I don't know. I just have all this free time, and it's kind of hard to fill it, you know.
Oh, definitely.
Well, the phone, I think, is addiction for almost everybody, because it's like we're robots, and this is a part of us, you know. And it's crazy watching somebody lose their phone for 30 seconds because it literally has everything we have. It can have our credit cards, it has our social media, it has our family contacts. It's so important. Well, it's become so important these days that we kind of need it, you know, and it's hard to not scroll through things because it passes time and it keeps us entertained, you know. I guess my only advice that I have for that is just find things to get yourself distracted, like whatever other hobbies you like or anything you like, even if it's something small. Go for a walk, go do something, you know. Try to put it down for like 10 minutes and then increase it over time. It's not going to be done in one day, but that's the only advice I have, man. I still am addicted to my phone, and I'm trying to get better at it, but exactly. One day at a time.
Yeah.
Say sorry. 10 minutes came up. Sorry to cut you off. Is there anything you would like to say to you know, shout out anything you wanted, any advice, anything?
I guess, like, to those people who are out there listening to this who are struggling with addiction, like, you can do it. Like, I mean, I obviously wasn't addicted to, like, heroin or any of the harder substances, but, you know, I was, you know, pretty mentally trapped, and I think, you know, you just need to work on your mindset and, you know, find the things in life that you really care about, because you really need a reason to be sober from whatever it is, whether it be, you know, God or family or whatnot. So I'll just hope all you guys out there are doing all right, and have a good night.
Hey, good night to you.
Thank you so much for calling, man.
Definitely, thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys.
Of course. So everybody out there, just want to let you know, say we got you. Say you can do it, bro. say we're on your side. Say if anybody else wants to call in, say you're here. So we're here to listen. If you want to talk, hey, this is your platform. I say this is why I do what I do. I say I give you a platform to speak your mind and say that somebody might say something that you've been feeling or that you couldn't say yourself. It might relieve something out of you. I say it's all love, all positivity up here. Like I said, if you call, please be 18 if you're going to talk about anything explicit. And second, please be respectful. I agree with him on pretty much almost every single fucking point he made there.
Yeah.
And before I get to the comments real quick, I'm going to get to the comments. I'm not ignoring y'all at all. I just want to get this out.
Vision
I have.
Thank you for the follow.
I would say I got an addiction to like YouTube. I honestly like just watching the YouTube video, cause like I want to get back into this, I want to get back into that, but like it's like all right, let me just watch another YouTube video. It's just TV. I think is my addiction right now, and I need to work on that alone.
Yeah.
I would say shit. It's gonna be difficult for a lot of people, and it's gonna be easy for other people. You just don't always think about it because you're like, all right, it's harmless, so on and so forth, but you don't really think about all the extra things that it takes time away from or the productivity that you could have been doing.
Yeah.
I say, and the shit gets difficult at the end of the day. Kids today will never understand what we had to go through in early 2000s when flip phones and MySpace. Yes, flip phones. I saw a post the other day where someone was like, I don't even know why we gave up MySpace for the fucking Facebook. We had music on our page. You had SpongeBob in the background with the gangster signals. You had letters dripping down. You had your top 10 or whatever the fuck you wanted to have. People would leave comments on your page and shit, and you would leave the ones you liked on there, and blah blah blah. And you give a little bio about yourself to the side. Yo, like shit was fire. And now we got boring ass Facebook, but social media has always been an addiction. Yeah. Always. I say MySpace, you go home, you come home from MySpace, hop on the fucking computer. Where you went? MySpace. Then Facebook got popular. We stayed on Facebook and then Instagram and then Snapchat, and then that's all we do now. These are the most popular and some of the most profitable businesses of pretty much all time, honestly. I say if you're thinking about the amount of revenue that these people pick in based on the content that they're giving out, it's fucking ridiculous. I would say we as a society, mainly I would have to say America for the most part, because I can't say everybody else. I'll give my thoughts later. Just remind me. Clip these videos
too.
Dean, perfect. Clip these clips. Press 1. Hey Dean, you're on with KingKadoTalks and Soavecito. How you doing?
What's up? Thanks for taking my call, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, of course. No problem.
Man, it's cool that you're doing like a fucking stream, man. It's like, I guess channeling, it's a good platform for radio, I guess. But, man, I wanted to ask about weed addiction.
What's your question?
Well, it's kind of like some people say it's not really a thing. So like, oh, you smoke every day, but you're a stoner. You're not an addict. I don't know, man. Like, at the end of the day, addictive behavior is addictive behavior,
Agreed. So you believe smoking weed every day is an addiction?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on a lot of things. Like if it's getting in the way of your, responsibilities, or if it's affecting your relationships. Because to be honest, man, that's kind of what happened to me. Like like you smoke a lot and you think like, oh, it's fine, and then eventually like a year or two later, you're like, oh, what else could I have done? You know what I'm saying? So
right. I understand that. I guess I can agree with that. I would say addiction is something that will ruin your life. Say, in general, weed itself, you can be addicted to weed. I think a lot of people want to say that you can't be addicted to weed because of, I say, the medical properties that they're trying to put out there now, and the fact that obviously it hasn't killed anybody. So they're like, well, being addicted to weed, it's not that bad because it doesn't kill you, more or less. And because because of the actions of the addiction, or well, actually, it's not the actions of the addiction. I would say I think it's the consequences of the addiction place it where it is. You feel where I'm coming from with that?
For sure.
As in,
I
like,
understand that.
because like when you drink alcohol, you have more of a chance of dying. Obviously, you go drunk driving. I say we've been taught about that for years upon years. As a kid, I heard drunk driving before I ever heard smoking and driving or whatever the fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say, what's more drilled into you? Drinking and driving. Why? Because it's illegal. But it's something that they know can fuck you up at the end of the day. I would say it's
Yeah.
so. With that being said, weed definitely is an addiction. Is it the worst addiction? I don't think so. I would say, but we don't classify addictions in that sense. I say, as we don't classify addictions in that sense, as in people, as in society rules. In our minds, we do, but as a people, no, we don't. You're just a stoner.
Yeah.
Sorry
Yeah.
to take up so much time with that.
Because I feel like, yeah, man, I feel like addiction, it's fundamentally, right? It's when you keep using despite the consequences because you have such a strong craving. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
you have a really strong burning craving so that, like, you just can't resist, and that's true for social media and video games, drugs and alcohol. So but the thing is, I think depending on the addiction, the consequences change, right? So obviously with something like opiates, right, the consequences are going to be different than with video games.
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Fucking weed is its own little set, but
I think that's where everybody gets it from, though. I say it's what people think the product can do to people is what makes people give that level of addiction to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, like back in like people used to think video games killed people. I was saying until they started coming out with research about that shit, then you don't hear about that shit too much anymore.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, I say the PS5's coming out. I haven't heard anybody talking about, oh, this is what's wrong with the new age or anything. Like I haven't heard not a motherfucking peep of that nature now.
It's funny how quick that narrative changed.
Narrative changes.
Everybody was so, like you said, it was like, oh, violence, video games added all that shit. But no, it's crazy.
I say you just need somebody to give you. Sometimes you need somebody else to give you a different point of view or validation for you to change your a point of view on something. And I think that actually comes with addiction as well. I would say.
Yeah.
I say there's a lot of people who are able to get over addiction because of family members or kids. I say obviously having to provide for your family and shit like that can sometimes break certain people's addictions because they realize like I'm not only destroying my life, I'm destroying other people's lives as well. And the people that I love the most. And the ones that didn't even ask me to bring them here.
Yeah, that's true.
For sure. Sure.
I say that shit's crazy to me. Sorry. I say, how long have you been addicted to weed?
Well, I started smoking when I was 17 in my senior year of high school. The first couple of times I smoked, like whatever, you smoke and move on. And then my friend was doing an order for carts. He was like, "You want one?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" So I get one, bring it home, smoke it. I'm like, "This is fucking awesome." Then the next night, I was like, "Fuck it, let me smoke it again." And the day after that, and then, and I've taken extended breaks, here or there. Like I've, I had like that summer I worked a job where I got drug tested, so I had to quit for a few months before.
Yeah, that'll do it to you.
Like,
Yeah.
But so it's like I can go periods without, but like what I noticed is if I ever have it, like I can never not smoke every day. Like I always end up slipping, even if I tell myself like, oh, I'm going to keep it to weekends, weekends turns in, oh, well, Monday counts as the weekend too. And then it turns into, well, what's the harm if I have it every night? And then, it's.
I think it's okay if it's in moderation, honestly. I'm not even going to lie to you. I say as a human in general, I think everybody needs their own vice. Obviously, if it's destroying you, then no. Obviously not.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing fucking cocaine, crack, shit like that, obviously not. No. But if you can take like a glass of alcohol, like a small cup or whatever the fuck, every other night or on weekends, so on and so forth, I honestly don't see an issue with that. I see the issue with the people who drink to the point where they can't understand things anymore, or they do it to the max that they can, so they can get the highest or to get the most distorted situation that they can for themselves. Things of that nature, I think, are damning. I think people who do it in moderation understand that if I do it in moderation, I can keep myself sane.
Yeah. And I think there's some people who are able to do things in moderation, and there's some people who just aren't. And
Exactly.
it's,
Well, those
no matter
people
how
need to know their
they're
limits.
they're wired in a certain way.
I agree with that. I
That's what
completely agree
addiction
with that.
is, really.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
I said, that's really what addiction is. Is inability to moderate.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I say people have too many. There's too many different things that feel good for certain people that they just can't get over. I say, and that's life, yo. I say everybody's different. You can't take everything the same as not everybody's gonna take everything the same.
Yeah.
I say there's people who die their very first time doing cocaine. There's motherfuckers who do tons of cocaine every day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Motherfuckers is different, yo. That's just life. I say people gotta realize that not everybody's the same, and people judging people off of what they can do themselves is a problem.
Yeah.
I say it's always been a problem. I say it honestly it always sucks. It's always sucked. Sorry, my stream's over on, Reddit. I gotta restart it up. My bad. So I say, are you still addicted, or have you been able to moderate yourself or find other hobbies to occupy your time?
Well, so I'm 19. So I went off to college, and and this was toward the end of September. So from there, I haven't smoked since then because I just, I didn't. And I've been offered, I'll be at like a function, like obviously COVID, socially distanced, acceptable, small gathering, but nevertheless, a social scenario.
Right.
I know this is Reddit, so they're not gonna like if I say it's a party. But where they pass around gummies, and I'm thinking well, as much as I want to have one, I'm not sure if, because the truth is, if I were able to just have gummies at things like that and then not have it again, that would be perfectly fine. But the issue with me is well, am I able to have it at this thing, and then tomorrow am I going to be really tempted to go find a dealer and buy some bud and smoke a blunt?
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Which is possible. And the truth is, I've never really ran the experiment, but knowing the way I act around this, I don't know, man, if I want to.
Hey, I would say you got, honestly, it's always going to be a journey, and especially being 19, I say you're still developing, your brain's still growing technically. I say puberty's
You're
not
also
over.
learning, you're learning
Exactly.
from what works with you and what doesn't,
I say it's always gonna be difficult. It's gonna take time. It's not going to be easy, and I hope no one ever tells you that it is easy. I say it's gonna be a struggle. There's gonna be times where you're gonna fight. There's gonna be times where you're gonna give in and shit of that nature. But honestly, at the end of the day, talking to you, I don't know you, obviously. I've never met you before in my life, but talking to you, I can see you have a strong will. And I see there's things that you want to do, and you understand why you can't get to where you are. I just think you get a little bit of a push, and you're going to make it, baby. Dead ass.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Good shit.
I say, sorry. I say we hit 11 minutes and 30 seconds. But I say I understood I talked a lot during that time, so I wanted to give you a little bit of extra time. Is there anything you want to say to the people, shout out, anything like that?
Yeah, shout out for doing this stream. I mean, this is cool. I can't say I've ever seen this on our pen. Yeah, keep it up.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate
Good.
that. I
Good
say
shit.
that honestly means a lot. I really honestly appreciate that, yo.
Yeah, man, it's a cool forum, for talking about topics that need to be discussed. So,
Hey,
good
definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling in, bro. Appreciate you.
my pleasure.
Hey,
Enjoy the rest of the stream.
hey, you too, man. Bye bye.
See you later.
Sorry, everybody over on Reddit. My 45 minutes was up, and I had to restart over. So you already know how that goes. Talking about addiction, I say we had a lovely call-in. I would say talking about his addictions at being at a young age. I would say, and being young is, I think age is also a big part of addiction. I say being young and obviously having to do certain things. I say it gets you addicted, so you don't know any better.
Call from
Yeah.
Libby.
Hi, Libby. You're on with KingKadoTalks and Soavecito. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Welcome.
Joe, I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. I say, what would you
good.
like to talk about? I say you got free time. You got your 10 minutes of fame. What would you like to talk about?
Well, you're talking about addiction, and one thing, I'm 54. I've lived in chronic pain for 32 years, and it's not going to end for the rest of my life. That's just a fact. I'm good with that.
Right.
But I think there is something to do with being physically addicted to something and being mentally addicted to something, and even having the both of those together.
Oh, that
You
definitely.
talk about how.
I'm sorry. Go
What?
ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'd like to hear your point.
I would say mentally and physically that definitely makes a difference. We didn't even touch on that aspect of it.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So that definitely brings another perspective into it. So thank you for.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for bringing that up. I would say, what is your opinion on that?
Well, because about weed, you say, it's not addictive. I don't think it's physically addictive, but I think it's mentally addictive.
Yes, I completely agree.
And I have to take pain medicine. And I've been judged in my life for being addicted to my pain pills. And maybe I am physically addicted to them, but I'm not mentally addicted to them, nor am I controlled by them. And I know that after having some pretty serious back surgeries, as soon as I didn't have pain, I didn't want the medicine. And it was super easy to not take the medicine, and got off of it for a point of time because I didn't have really that much pain.
So, sorry to cut you off.
I'm sure that I went through withdrawals,
right,
physically, but I didn't really notice it because I didn't have pain. But I smoke cigarettes, and quitting smoking and going through those withdrawals are hell.
Yes, they are.
Because I'm mentally and physically addicted to cigarettes, and it's my crutch.
I say that's a lot. That's a crutch for a lot of people. I say my question is, when was it that you specifically figured out that your addiction to the pills was physical and not mental?
Well, because I always just used them for pain. I never, a lot of people will say, oh, I'll just take an extra one this time, or, double up, and I don't. I take them as prescribed, and yeah, I might suffer, but I think because I'm adamant about taking them that way,
right,
and I take them just for the physical pain. And maybe because I had physical pain for 17 years before I started taking opiates, that, it wasn't like a car accident that you're overnight thrown into it, and I can see how people can fall into that cycle of addiction. But I think a lot of times, too, the underlying factors of what perhaps led them down that road, were there. So I had my cigarettes, which was my crutch. But if you didn't have a crutch before that, then you could fall in. And, when I just didn't have the physical pain,
Right.
I didn't have the desire to take anything to help it. It was so easy. Like, I'm sure I had a little bit of sweat or whatever, but
I think her call got disconnected somehow. Say sorry. Let's see if we can.
Please call back.
I'm definitely.
Hello.
Hi, sorry. I think your call got disconnected.
Yeah, all of a sudden it just went.
Sorry. Can you continue your story?
I just, I think because it was so specific that I took it just for this pain. And
Right.
I smoked pot with it to help with it at times. If I'm having a muscle spasm, then a good old indica helps. Or if my mood is bad, then, I'll hit a sativa or whatever. But I think pain itself, too, can become, I don't want to say an addiction, but because I know that I'm always going to have this pain and I live in this cycle of it, that whether or not that itself becomes some sort of a vicious cycle.
Yes. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree with what you're saying right there.
Yeah.
That right there that's I think that's what happens to a lot of people. I think it's because you're not understanding everything that's happening to your body, and your body is giving you these readings that you need something, and then this something can help you out. And then after a while, your mental sometimes is so strong, it can affect you physically.
I mean, you're gonna be like you said, you're kind of gonna be expecting the pain, like
exactly.
You're going through all this stuff. You're like, I know I'm always gonna have this pain and like throughout my life.
It's
And
a
now
clock.
I'm just expecting it. And when I have this pain, I'm gonna have to go do whatever I have to do to make sure I have subsided.
Exactly. You're setting your own mental alarm every time. It's kind of like with the cigarettes. They say people get addicted to cigarettes because once you smoke a cigarette, you get that feeling. That feeling goes away. If you smoke another cigarette, that comes. Then after a while, you understand how long you feel that cigarette for. Then your body automatically starts to react to that because in your mental state, you know how long that takes because you paid attention to it. Now you're physically craving that cigarette every certain amount of time. After a certain amount of time, it's insane.
And I think when people misuse their pain medication, that's exactly what you're talking about.
And that's what leads
that goes into that cycle, and then they have to take double, and then they're doctor shopping, and worst case scenario, then they're on the street buying heroin.
Exactly.
So, I can, just from my own experience, I see a complete separation between mental and physical, and the two of them together, and how that can affect me in whatever way it is, and whatever the addiction is. I think I was born addicted to cigarettes because my birth mother smoked during pregnancy.
Nicotine addiction through.
And so as I remember being very, very little, and we went to this party, and nobody in my family smoked, but somebody was smoking there, and I was like a dog, and I smelt this thing, and I followed it with my nose, and I stood below the man because I was up to his knees, and I looked up, and I didn't know what it was, but I just pointed, and I said, I want that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say
So,
Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
well, it's just like, so that's a predisposed disposition of an addiction, right?
Yes.
I mean, you exposed it to it so at a younger age, that definitely. It's crazy how what you're around can lead to certain things towards an addiction. If you're
Right.
around a lot of people who, like at a young age, who smoke a lot of weed, and you see, there's a thing called people see model. It's called modeling. So people see
Yeah.
somebody. Say if you look up to somebody and they're smoking weed or they're doing whatever drugs or whatever, you're gonna be like, oh, that person. I look up to that person, and I want to be like that person, and I see they're having a great time. I want that same feeling. And it's a scary thing because a lot of people
And
fall
I
into
think
that trap.
that is crossing over into social media huge.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
see that in the younger generation, and you're talking about your phones, and it's I've seen a table of younger people, well, before COVID, out to dinner, whatever, sitting around, and they don't talk to each other,
Yeah.
but
just
they're
look
on
at
their
their phones.
phones.
I try not to even use my phone when I literally go out to dinner.
Well,
It's sad.
It is. I
feel,
say
I feel
you
like
completely
for some
ignore
people,
everybody else.
yeah, I feel like for some people it's an escape, or like it's when people go out and they don't want to be there. What do most people do? They pull out their phone and look at it.
Exactly.
It passes by. It's the number one time killer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
It is. If you don't want to be in a certain situation, you don't feel comfortable, you just don't want to be there, you want to do something else. What do? Pull out
Yeah.
your phone.
So you
So
could go
easy.
out and have a smoke too, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's the way.
See, there
That's
you
the way
go.
now.
I say that's a perfect example of that right there. I say addiction comes
yeah,
in many
it's
different ways.
But I also think just that addiction can either be something that you choose, something that you're disposed to, something that you are influenced by, physical, mental. There's so many layers of it. And if you notice something within yourself, you were talking about, is it interfering in your life? Gambling, it's that dopamine, right? Everybody
Yes.
wants that hit, whether it's a drug or not, porn, whatever, and if it is interfering in your life, if you are not happy, then, you just got to look within and figure out what your triggers are.
Yes.
I know when I quit smoking, I can't be around anybody that smokes for a long time.
Definitely.
Because I just
Yeah.
want it.
I say and
It's like a trigger, right? It's
so-
like being around that. It's just like, it makes you like have memories of having there. If I'm, you can stop me if I'm
even
wrong,
in a
right?
movie, watching a movie and someone smoking, and if I just quit smoking, gotta change it. 'Cause it's like, damn.
Yeah, I say there's different ways to re-trigger it. I say that's also a big part of addiction is the re-triggering of it.
Yeah.
Say sorry. Say we hit the 10-minute mark.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate it. Like listening to you on Sundays. Just discovered you maybe about a month ago, and
Oh shit.
I look forward to it every week now.
Hey, thank you
Oh,
very much. I
thank you
appreciate that.
so
I didn't know
much.
that at all. That makes me feel real good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, your voice is soothing. Last week I fell asleep to you, so it was just wonderful.
Hey.
If it helps, it helps. I appreciate that very much. I thank you very
You guys
much.
take care. Keep doing what you do, and we'll catch you on the flip side somewhere sometime.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care, guys.
Take
Bye.
care.
Take
Take
care.
care. Bye. That was beautiful. That was
Wow,
absolutely
that-
beautiful.
I can't stop smiling.
Me either.
That's awesome.
Me either. Let me just say something before I read some of these comments. And then we're not taking any more calls for the night. Sorry. I would say we usually do calls for about 50 minutes. So get around 4 or 5 people in there so it's not too many different things, blah, blah, blah. It's a whole mess. Anyway, I want to say I appreciate each and every one of you that come by my streams. I say I don't want you to think that I ever take this for granted or think that that I do this because I'm some chosen one, or I feel like I have more to say than anybody else or anything like that. The whole point of the platform is, one, because I love to do this. That's number one. And number two is that this gives the opportunity for other people to open up their voice or to open up their ears and hear other people speak about the things that go on in their life, or some of the things that they can't handle, and hopefully seeing somebody else that has that feeling or has that observation that they have, or someone has an opposite view who can give them a different view on the opinions that they have. I say it can help. I would say I literally do this because I love it. The fact that I got paid by Twitch to do this, I feel like I've hit my goal of becoming a streamer, where I can
Like a
say I'm
milestone.
officially a streamer. But it wasn't. I'm not doing it for the money. It's just the fact that to me says that I've been doing well enough, that people come to the stream, people feel good enough, that Twitch had to pay me because I brought at least good content, or I made people feel good about themselves. And that's literally what it is every week. Every week, every Sunday, every Wednesday at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time, PM. I say
Can I
me and
can I jump
Soavecito.
in there?
Definitely. Sorry, I
Yeah,
wasn't.
no, no,
I
no, no,
got
it's
you,
okay.
bro. Go ahead.
I just want to say this. We we want to create a outlet for people to feel comfortable to express themselves in any way possible. And then we're coming with an unbiased opinion, and we're just giving you our thoughts. We're building a community because like the world right now has a lot of things negative about it, and there's a lot of shit going on. So
Right.
this is an outlet for people, and that's what we want it to be. I like, similar to Kato. I do this because I really do love doing this. I love being able to speak my mind and tell people how I feel, and I love the discussions.
While
But
entertaining you with video games.
absolutely, also that too. I love playing video games too. But um, where was I going with this? Yeah,
Sorry.
we you caught me off guard. Like I totally forgot what I was saying, but
You love doing this,
but
bro.
I remember the number one thing is being able to help as many people on this planet as I can and we can. That's why I feel like I was put on this earth for, is to try to be a voice to people, or inspiration, or a role model for other people. That people that are having a tough time just need even a person to listen to what they have to say. You know, and we're touching topics that matter. That don't get discussed a lot. We want to we want to help people as much as we can, and this is one of our ways of doing it. So I appreciate Kato. I appreciate everybody who calls in. I appreciate everyone who supports us, because we can't do this without you guys.
Definitely.
And one day we will make this a full-time thing, and where we can work together. And when COVID's all done, hopefully in the future. But right now we're on a grind, and just show my boy KingKadoTalks some love on all platforms, because he deserves it. He really does, man.
Hey, and same to him. He deserves it as well. Soavecito. Soavecito. Yeah, I say we. You know
I do
what?
got a story after this. After you're
This
done.
shit is crazy. Just in general, I do want to shout out to the person who gave me the topic for today's podcast. I don't want to say her name, obviously, because she might not want me to. But if you are listening, I appreciate the topic, and I hope that maybe one of these stories from one of the people that called in helped. Because I personally don't have every addiction, so I can't speak on every addiction. And having other people call in and speak about their addictions can give a variety of thoughts and processes. And for people who it's easy for them, or people who it's harder for them, and certain things that's easy and certain things that are hard, you can get an understanding that you're not alone, and there are always people there with you, and everybody's struggling in their own way. And I say you are always have somebody with you. Say we all love you. Say trust me, I love everybody up here. If anybody needs anybody to talk to, I say I'm here even after the streams. You can DM me. I say you can hit me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I say fucking TikTok. What is it? I forgot what the fucking other one is. Twitch, Reddit. I say DMs that you could join the Discord server. I say I message back. I talk back to every single person that messages me. I'm not too big to talk to anybody. I'm not big at all. Literally. Literally, I'm not big at all. And I will never get too big to talk to y'all if you ever need help. I say the best I can do is give you my opinion. I never give you advice. All I can say is that it's all love and just trying to do my best from what I know and what I've experienced.
I can't say better than that. Yeah, same here, man. Like if you guys need anything, you can always hit me up in the DMs and any of the platforms. You know, I'm always gonna be an open ear for you. My door is always open. I will try to get back to you as best as I can, and truly, you know, there's so many resources out there. You know, you are not alone. People are dealing with things in their own ways and coping with things, and it's hard. Addiction is hard. You know, I'm going to tell you one story real quick of something I went through. You know, I was like, alcohol was really hard on me when I was 21, man. You know, just turned 21, and I had a scare of my life. You know, it was my birthday. It was after my birthday, close to it, and I went to my friend's house. You know, I had way too much to drink. I ended up passing out on a anthill for 2 hours with full vomit on me. My friends had to carry me into the bathroom, wash it all off, and I woke up again in a car, actually in the road. You know, my friends were at the beach, and I was the police officer shining the light in front of my face. He said I was passed out like I was Jesus Christ, man, and at that moment, I mean, the next day, I mean, I got out of it because, like, I called my friends and they explained the whole thing. I could have got arrested that night. You know, it could have fucked up my life.
Definitely.
You know, but I had, out of the saving grace, you know, my friends answered the phone and said it was my birthday and all this stuff. I woke up the next day feeling like shit, you know, and I was like, damn, do I really want to be there? Like, do I really want to deal with this again? I thought that was rock bottom for me, man. I was like, to be almost arrested.
Hey,
and don't.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't know, half of my body was bitten by ants for 2 hours.
God damn.
So I had bites from my left side of my face to my head to my left side of my body to my feet, and agonizing pain. That was my waking moment that, you know, I don't need to drink. You know, I get drinks given to me and I just pass them along because I remember that moment. I will never forget that pain I endured. You know, and I'm never ashamed to tell people of the shit that I went through because it's my way of releasing it instead of bottling that shit up to affect me in future things. Never bottle anything up. Because I'll tell you, man, I went through a really bad depression once everything exploded. So don't do that, you know. Find ways to channel that energy or write it down. Find a friend to talk to. Call us. Talk to your family. Like do something that can channel that energy, that negative energy into any outlet.
I completely agree. We are here. We are here for you, bro. We are here
because
for
at the end of the day, you don't want to use that energy to do something that you'll regret. You know, and that energy could be doing drugs or drinking alcohol or being on your phone for 1,000 or watching porn, whatever it is that can be affecting your life.
Yes.
You know, trying to find more positive ways to channel that energy.
I completely agree with that.
If that's the one thing I could say, take out of a lot of this conversation, do that.
Yes, I completely agree with that. Goddamn, I wish I had a way to clip these shits myself. You know, just hit the button to clip that 30 seconds right there, 30 seconds right there. I honestly, quick thing. If anybody is in here regularly that I recognize, I'd be more willing to pay you to, when you watch my stream, pay you each stream to like clip parts that you think are good throughout the stream. I'm willing to pay somebody to do that. Dead ass. I gotta say, I think today was a very successful call-in chat. I appreciate each and every single person that called in. Thank you to the new people who discovered. I say to the people who followed, the people who sat by for a little while just to enjoy the stories, the people who got tired of it, to the people who don't like it. I appreciate each and every single one of you. All the upvotes, the likes. Thank you. I appreciate you. People who are on Reddit, you're seeing this one. This is part 2. I had the 45-minute one before this. If you would like to go check that out. If you want to go check out the entire thing, you can do it over on twitch.tv. I like this call-in chat so much, I'm probably going to download this one tonight and probably try to put it up tomorrow on YouTube. And the podcast, the audio for it will probably be even later on that night as well, if you want to go check out the podcast. But everything is at KingKadoTalks, literally Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Anything that you could think of is KingKadoTalks. I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you for joining the KingKadoTalks show. My partner, he wants to thank you as well. I say he loves each and every one of you. I say please go follow him. He plays video games as we do this. If you don't want to stare at my ugly face the entire time, you go stare at his.
Today I wasn't playing any.
Oh well, usually he plays video games almost every time for the most part.
I will say I am very close to 1,000 followers on Twitch. Will be dropping my merch once I hit that 1K mark.
Perfect.
So something very excited to look forward to.
I don't have 1K and I already have merch. So if you would like to go get my merch, please go check it out at teespring.com/KingKadoTalks. I say I have links over on my pages if you want to go check those out. So please go follow, like if you like it. Obviously, if you don't like, then you can dislike. I have no problem with that. Rate 5 stars to 1 star, 1 star to 5 star, doesn't matter. All I ask is that you be honest and all positive vibes. Exactly, positive vibes. Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is going to be the outro, so I'm going to let Soavecito say whatever he has, and then I'm going to do my outro, and I will wish all of you a very beautiful night.
Well, all I gotta say is, as he told you guys, I do stream games. I play horror games. I play Magic the Gathering, and I just play whatever occasionally. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch, and then basically every day on Reddit at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 11:30s, we do the call-in show on Sundays, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time on Reddit/Twitch. So if you guys want to give us some love, and show your support or criticism, we take any feedback and we appreciate it because we want to grow, and I hope you guys like the content because we love doing this. I appreciate Kado for making me a co-host. I love to do this, and I hope I can continue doing this forever because this is the thing that makes me really happy to do. And I just want to say thank you. You can follow your boy at twitch.tv/Soavecito, SOAVECITO, and you can follow me on Reddit, which I'm going to shoot to try to get to 300 followers. So thank you guys so much.
Perfect. Thank you. Again, thank you everybody for coming to the stream. Please go follow on all platforms or any platforms that you have that you would like to follow me on. Try to keep updated with what I do. The more that happens, obviously, the more I can do with it at the end of the day. So with that being said, please go follow on all platforms. Thank you for watching the KingKadoTalks show. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night.